What do you do if you're at a movie theater watching the latest 3D blockbuster, but the teenagers behind you constantly kick your seat, gossip, and laugh? What do you do if the engineers at work still have not fixed your broken equipment after 3 written requests? What do you do if 3 of your friends and you decided to throw a birthday party, but he did not pay for his share, as he had previously agreed to? Fellow Toastmasters, when frustrating things happen, do you go to the corner meekly and pray that things will resolve on their own? They won't. The art of assertiveness is so unknown. And because 99% of people are so inept at it, that there are countless books written on the subject, greeting you as you walk into your local public library or Barnes & Nobles. There are assertiveness training courses and seminars taking place all over the world right now, such as this one. When you approach someone and express your dissatisfaction, the goal is not to beat her down, but to lift her up. It is not to hurt his feelings, but to get him to get the job done. Through my experiences, careful observations, and readings, I've uncovered several important steps to a successful confrontation. Step number 1 is to make sure that the criticism or confrontation takes place in private. Pull the person aside or ask for some time alone to discuss an important matter. Remember, even the slightest criticism in front of others will make that person resented. Step number 2 is to preface the criticism with a compliment or kind words, as this sets a ground for a familiar setting. For example, you can say, Raymond, from past experiences, you have always gotten the job done. Is there any reason why the equipment are not fixed? Step number 3 is to make it impersonal. Focus on the event, not on the person. As Dolores, I know from past that you have always paid for your share. I want to remind you of your part in planning for Susan's party. The last step is to ask for cooperation and not demand it. When you demand, you put the other person and you in the I'm the boss, you're the employee positions. But asking makes him part of your team. Ask directly, but firmly, as, will you guys stop kicking my seat? Or, Mark, can you fix the projector? As you practice these steps, I believe that you will get very competent at assessing yourself. But just as any personal fitness program, you will not see overnight results, and you will have to work very hard at it. Sometimes even the best approaches will not work. Do you take the no personally and cry, woe is me? Or do you get up and move on? Practice, be persistent, believe the best in people, and your results and confidence will soar. Next, I will present a scenario with my role play person. Please. Are we sitting? We're sitting. The scenario is my supervisor, Rhonda, is a non-stop talker. And she has made me her audience. I can't get my work done because she interrupts me to gossip and complain about other people in our department or talk about her family. I'm increasingly frustrated and have decided to address the problem with her directly. Hey Rhonda, I'm in your office and I wonder if we can have some time to discuss an important issue.
Certainly, you know I'll take any time you need, anytime.
Rhonda, I really appreciate that. You have always supported us in the past, but
that's why I'm here.
I've had a problem with not being able to finish my work because you continuously come to me to talk about stuff that are unrelated to work.
Oh, well, I had to give you those updates about Jane and the kids. I needed to tell you all that so you would be up to date.
I understand, Rhonda. I understand you're very concerned about everybody, as you have always remembered our birthday, but I think there's a time for us to do our work, but also a time for us to socialize.
Well, we have to find a good balance here because, you know, those things are very important. We can't just go forgetting somebody's birthday. What if it's the only birthday they get? They may not get a happy birthday if we don't give it to them.
I totally agree. And I think that, why don't we get our work done, and then there's happy hours, there's lunchtime, where we could go for an outing to catch up. I know you're concerned about everybody, but I think we just, as long as we get our work done, we can always go out and socialize.
How far behind do you think we are on our work? I'm usually checking all our figures and it looks pretty good to me.
Right, right. But you don't understand. I'm staying half an hour every day to catch up on things that I could have finished. So I would request that from a supervisor. I think if you look at myself and a group of others, we're staying behind.
Okay, I guess I better check into that part. Because we need to keep up on our work, and you can't be getting overtime because that's not what we do, and it doesn't fit in our budget. And I will get in trouble if that happens. So we can't do that.
Thank you, Rhonda. Okay. Now open for the group discussion. What would I have said to my boss to be more effective? We can just do a round robin and go from table to table. Feedback from these two tables? Any recommendations?
It's challenging for, it must be challenging because you're speaking to your boss. So that, to me, is probably one of the most challenging things. You have to tread really lightly because she has control over your job.
Yeah.
So ultimately, if she doesn't do what you ask, there's really nothing you can do about it. Then what?
Good question. Moving on to the next group, what if your boss, after you was assertive and approached her, what if she doesn't change the behavior? What are some of the other solutions you can do? Why don't we do two groups? Any recommendations without me getting fired?
You can transfer to another department.
I can transfer to another department? Okay.
Do you have a door on your office?
Another thing, yeah, along those lines, seriously, if you have a chair in your office and you always leave things in it,
Yeah.
or if you get rid of the chair,
Okay.
then there's less reason for people. It's proven that people will stay less time. And if they have to ask you to take the stuff out of the chair, you can always say, "Oh, that's really important. Don't touch that. I need to look at that." And then they'll leave it there, and then they'll go away.
Make the room uninviting.
Trust me, it works.
You can use subtle body language without saying anything to help get someone to leave.
Subtle
That's
body.
body language, looking at your watch, getting up, getting some papers together,
Good
quit
point.
giving them eye contact,
Excellent.
and stop listening and giving them your direct and full attention.
Right.
Before you start your meeting, you can say, "Yeah, I have about 5 minutes before I have an appointment."
Good one.
Good, good. Dolores.
You can always ask for clarification on deadlines because it's her deadline. And if you ask her what her deadline is, she may realize that I better leave you alone because I know you're working on this deadline to have.
Excellent.
But if you ask for deadlines, she probably knows in her mind.
Remind her.
Remind her,
Yeah.
you know, I got to get that ready for you.
Yeah. Good job. Another solution I thought of, which I talked to a friend who was actually having the problem, was she would have a a little whiteboard and list to-do lists. And that makes it visual for the boss to know that, hey, I have things to accomplish, and I just check it off which ones I have completed. Any other feedback?
Susan, well, I had two. One, you said you opened with Rhonda with, I really like working for you, but. Never say but. Whatever happened before, people forget, they go right to the apology.
I see.
But the best way I've seen is be direct. Look at them and say, right now is not a good time to chat. Is 4:30 okay with you? And as soon as you start boxing them into a particular time, they tend not to stop and hover quite so often.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you everyone for your participation.